Yo! Welcome back to the channel. Kamusta sa inyong lahat? Wuthering Waves is no stranger to strong characters, but every now and then, a unit comes along that makes you question the very fabric of game balance. Enter Brant, the sub-DPS support who's so stacked, so overloaded, and so stylish that he practically breaks the game by just existing. It's basically illegal. At first glance, he seems like just another sword-wielding anime guy until you realize he can do everything. He buffs, he heals, he shields, and he somehow manages to out-DPS half the actual DPS units while doing it. Brant doesn't just fit into the fusion teams, he defines them. If Fusion had a monarchy, he'd be sitting on the throne and everyone else would be scrambling to be his knight. In this deep dive, we'll explore Brant's absolutely busted kit, his best team synergies, and why he might just be the most overpowered fusion unit in Wuthering Waves. Is he a must-pull? Is he secretly better than your favorite DPS? And most importantly, does he make Changli obsolete? Spoiler alert, probably not, but let's pretend for the drama. Strap in because we're about to break down why Brant is the unit you didn't realize you actually needed. Chapter 1 Kit Breakdown. Brant's insanely stacked arsenal. Brant is what happens when a developer wakes up one morning and decides to make the most overloaded unit in the game. He's technically a sub-DPS support, but calling him just that is like saying the sun is just a light bulb. His kit features strong basic attacks, an aerial combo that lets him spin like a stylish tornado, healing, shielding, and the ability to make fusion comps absurdly powerful. Let's break it down. Basic attacks. Brant may seem like your standard sword wielder, but his aerial attacks make him a mid-air menace, allowing for stylish combos and unexpected parry mechanics. He is like a human Beyblade, and the enemies, they're just spectators. Resonance skill. This comes in two flavors. The normal one, which lets Brant stylishly shoot at enemies before slamming down, and the enhanced one, which of course is where things get ridiculous. When fully charged, it lets him obliterate foes while simultaneously healing and shielding his allies. Fair and balanced. Forte Circuit. Here's where Brant breaks the game. His Forte Circuit converts energy regen into an attack boost. That means, if you build him correctly, his attack stats gets ridiculous, turning him from a mere support into an accidental main DPS. Oops! Finally, Resonance Liberation. As if his kit wasn't cracked enough, his ultimate move makes him ride an anchor into battle, deal massive damage, heal enemies, and enter two separate buff states that essentially make him unstoppable for 12 seconds. If this isn't overkill, I don't know what is. Chapter 2 Team Synergies. Brant has an outro skill that buffs both fusion damage and resonance skill damage, which means he was practically designed to be Changli's best friend. The two of them together create a fusion team so strong that it might make MiHoYo rethink their balancing choices. Best team, a fusion dream team, and we're talking about a three-way fusion gangbang, where Brant is the sub-DPS / support. He will provide buffs, healing, shielding, and more damage than he probably should. Changli will be the main DPS. It scales off the very buffs that Brant provides. A match made in Gacha heaven. Finally, Mortifi with the Empyrean Anthem set. He will be a sub-DPS and coordinated damage buffer. Because Brant's healing and buffs weren't already overkill, here's even more coordinated destruction. Now, amplified by additional buffs from Fusion's top coordinated damage dealer. Of course, there are other viable team comps. So, if you don't have Changli, which would be tragic, Brant still works with other fusion-based characters. Brant excels in synergy with other fusion resonators such as Encore and Shisha, enhancing their damage output and overall team effectiveness. He even works in main DPS compositions if you have characters like Sanhua and Roccia to further boost his absurd damage output. Pair him with the Shorekeeper as her potent crit buffs and consistent healing significantly enhances Brant's offensive and supportive capabilities, making him even more of a powerhouse in battle. Chapter 3: Echo Builds: The Quest for Infinite Energy Regen. Building Brant is all about energy regen, 280% to be exact, because his whole existence revolves around converting it into absurd damage. This means that Tide-Breaking Courage is his best Sonata set. It grants energy regen and massive attack boosts when you hit high regen thresholds, the perfect set for Brant's nonsense. Alternatively, you can use the Molten Rift. It provides solid fusion damage bonuses if you can't hit the required energy regen marks. Niche option would be the Rejuvenating Glow. This is if you want to turn Brant into a dedicated healer, which is unnecessary but technically possible. As for Echoes, slap a 4-cost dragon into that Brant with crit rate as the main stat. If you prefer a healer Brant, put in a healing bonus instead. As for the 3-cost, slap energy regen on both 3-cost Echoes. And finally, 1-costs will be all about attack and HP. You definitely want to stack energy regen, crit rate, and crit damage on his Echo substats. You'd also want basic attack boosts and Resonance Liberation boosts. This will give you a free excuse to flex on non-Brant mains. Chapter 4: Weapon Choices. Brant's signature sword is unsurprisingly his best option, but if you don't want to wail, the next best alternative is Overture, a 4-star weapon that provides high energy regen and lets you spam abilities like no tomorrow. Other solid options include Emerald of Genesis, a decent pick that still gives energy regen in its passive effects. Blazing Brilliance, a crit-based weapon for Changli for those who want more raw damage. And Red Spring, it offers bonus basic attack damage which synergizes well with his enhanced Forte circuit. Chapter 5: Overall Value. Should you pull for Brant? Let's get real. If you love fusion teams, Brant is basically a must pull. He makes Changli's performance skyrocket. He fits into multiple team comps, and he's one of those most stylish characters in the game. Plus, his outro skill alone makes him future-proof for any other fusion DPS that will release later. However, if you don't like energy regen stacking, you might find his build annoying. You'll need high roll echoes and proper weapon to make him shine. But let's be honest, if you're a meta player or just someone who wants to see stylish mid-air combos, you're gonna pull for him anyway. And Chapter 6: Theory Crafting, the potential future synergies. There is a new fusion sub-DPS coming, because rumors are circulating that another fusion-based sub-DPS is set to arrive later in the Renascita update. This potential Resonator could wield either a pistol or a broadsword, adding a new layer of buffs and coordinated damage for fusion teams. If true, this unit could further enhance Brant's role as a key support, especially if that Resonator will scale off of HP. My theory, if this new unit indeed relies on HP, Brant's shields, healing, and buffs will perfectly complement them. This could create a 3-way synergy among fusion units composed of Brant, Changli, and this future unit, making Brant even more essential in maximizing team damage and survivability. Whether or not this mystery Resonator materializes, Brant's future in fusion compositions is looking brighter than ever. In conclusion, Brant is cracked. Brant is stylish. Brant is an all-in-one package of DPS, support, healing, and shields. You could skip him, sure, but you'd be missing out on one of the most fun characters in the game. So what are you waiting for? Get your Primo Gems ready because this is one unit that will be aging like fine wine. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave it a like and subscribe for more Wuthering Waves content. And let me know in the comments, are you pulling for Brant or are you one of the few who dare to skip him? Let's talk about it. Thank you so much for watching. Maraming salamat po and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye!